Ah! Hi. It's another Tardis Wiki Roulette. Hello. How are we doing? Tell me. Tell me. How are you doing? How are you doing on this fine day? Oh fuck. I'll grab all of those things. I'll grab all of those things. Yeah, how are you all doing today? It is a Tuesday. It is a Tuesday. What's going on? Make sure to vote in the poll, by the way. I'm just adding your suggestions to the wheel, and then we will get properly started. Okay, Alan is all ready to go. I am all ready to go. I think we should start spinning some wheels. Fucking Huntsville out of Alabama. I know. I know we don't talk about politics on this stream, but what Najawin said is really funny, so I'm going to allow it to pass. Oh dear. Oh dear. I know. All I was gonna say, I know, it was a bagger though. It was a bagger. I give my full compliments to that one. Alright, let's spin the wheel. Yeah, baby. Rhoda Austin! Oh my god! Let's take a look. Let's take a look. By the way, we're doing a thing on Twitch tonight, so make sure to check that out. Fee is doing one of her famous takeovers, so yeah, be certain to check that out because they're really good, and you'll probably have a really good time there. All right, where are we? Where are we? We're meant to go on the wiki, right? Yep, that's it. That's what I'm doing. I'm a proper streamer. I know what I'm doing. Twitch, woo! I've been playing a lot of Helldivers 2 lately, and I've been really enjoying it. It's one of my new favorite things ever. It's incredible. Yeah, I'm gonna be playing more of it to test its viability, like on Twitch as like a growth game, and if I can get decent growth off of it, I might end up playing it as like my main. I'm not sure yet. We'll find out. But enough about Twitch, because we're going to talk about Rhoda Austin. Rhoda Austin was a splinter of Clara Oswald, who was an operative of Torchwood 1 in the 1890s. Having much of the same skill and gusto as the original Clara Oswald, she was one of Torchwood's best agents. She had previously worked in Edinburgh and Glasgow before being transferred to Londinium. She sometimes sparred with the Paternoster gang, causing them some degrees of conflicted emotion due to their knowing Clara Oswald. Vastra, in particular, speculated that Torchwood may have been using Rona as bait for the Doctor. Rona herself was seemingly unaware of their origin as a splinter. This is actually quite cool, and I really like this. The image used to depict Rhoda Austin in the Paternosters gang to London was a promotional image of Jenna Coleman as Clara Oswald for the Snowman Men. Oh yeah, the splinters. I like this. I think this is a good use of the splinters. I think that it's a good use of them as a story. Glad we actually did look at more of them. Me too, me too. Me too. I think the main problem with doing it in the TV show is that you have to get Jenna Coleman back and she's expensive. But like, doing it in books and stuff is great. It's great to expand on that stuff. Okay, let's have a look at what else we have. What else we can get from the wheel of names. Let's see what we can do here. Alright. Ready. Boom!
Yeah, baby.
Don't let RTD again. I think it's funny that like a Sunday roast has 100% of the votes in the poll, by the way. That's really funny. Galahad, the planet. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at whatever this monstrosity of an article is. Wheel of names, wiki. Bam! Ba-bam! Alright, let's take a look. Oh wait, that's just Rhoda Austin and Galahad the Planet. There we go. There we go. Okay. For those who don't know, I had really bad back pain, so I've been on like really strong painkillers for like all of last week, and I'm only coming off them, and so I'm really like whoa at the moment, and you're gonna have to bear with me, unfortunately, but I know that you're all cool peeps, and you're gonna be cool peeps about it, because you are in fact cool peeps. In the comic book Time Surgeon, Galahad was the home planet of the Chrononauts, such as the Time Surgeon, located in the star system of Caractacus. From the comic Invasion of the Mind Morphs, Galahad is a clear allusion to Gallifrey, home of the Time Lords and the Doctor. What is this? Oh, is it like another like rip-off in the universe of Doctor Who? Because I think that's good. I think that's good. We got you, Ryan. I know. What's your favourite Doctor Who book? The only Doctor Who book that I've read. That's not true. I like the novelisation of Remembrance of the Daleks a lot. I think it's really, really solid. I've read like bits of Alien Bodies and then just like got overwhelmed and put it down. But like I haven't really explored the prose side. I've listened to quite a lot of the old Big Finish audios though. Warlords of Utopia is pretty fun. I would definitely recommend the novelisation of Remembrance of the Daleks, though. Infinite Doctors, yeah? Okay. My main domain when it comes to Doctor Who, Ewan Fawkes, is like classic Doctor Who. I'm mainly like a classic Doctor Who guy. I think most of New Who was a mistake, basically. You're getting the Remembrance book for your birthday as part of the 50th collection. That's amazing. I really hope that you enjoy it. Let's see. But in novelizations, Day of the Doctor is also good. I've heard that the novelization of Day of the Doctor is really good. Where were we? I've heard it's very like subversive and weird and meta, but not in an overbearing, annoying way. So, be kind of interested in that. Okay. Right, we've got the spinny wheel. Let's spin the wheel again. That's the format of the show, after all. Can you believe that we've done 90 of these? That's fucking insane.
Yeah, baby.
If I get to 100, that means it goes into syndication. The Duplicate Doctor and Rose. I was surprised they used an adaptation as all the others are originals. That is pretty interesting, yeah. But like I do know that Remembrance, like it does do a lot to expand on like the world building and the characters and stuff. We did this? Ah fuck. Let's take a look. Let me take a looky look. Oh, yeah, we've done this. We have done this before. I recognize the picture. Okay. I'll just spin the wheel again. It's fine, guys. It's fine. It's all fine.
Yeah, baby.
Boom! See, I told you. It's fine. Neil the Rabbit. I think it's really funny that Tardis Wiki Roulette has had over 90 episodes and Firefly has only had 13. That makes me very happy. For some reason, that brings me warmth and joy. I love this! I know about this! This is amazing! Anything planned for the 100th? I probably should plan something special for the 100th. Maybe retirement. Okay, let's take a look at this article because it's an absolute banger. It's an absolute banger. Hold on. Boom. Okay. He quits. Neil was Sutek's pet, the true plaything of Sutek. He was named Neil as a pun for all should kneel before the might of Sutek. Okay. I have been working on a new something blue like audio thing, which has been nice. You already gave your proposal. You did. That's true. Someone's LRPDD needs to make a rabbit. The rabbit a god. I know. So Neil was Sutek's pet, the true plaything of Sutek. He was named Neil as a pun for all should kneel before the might of Sutek. And that's from a home vid called Oh Mummy. And I want to just highlight this image of Sutek and the rabbit because it's fucking glorious. Look at that. Hang on. Look at that. Isn't that great? Okay. Alright, we're gonna, oh, I need to move the text a little bit. Hold on. There we go. Now it's perfect. Now it's perfect again. Alright. Let's go back to the wheel, back to spinning the wheel of names. Yeah, baby. Come on, Alan. Right angle. I do think that if I was to quit, then quitting at 100 would be the most, like, ballsy thing to do. Just be like, I've had a golden run, now bye. Ryan, why did you giggle? Well, Ian Linus, it's because I am timing you out for 24 hours. That's why. Bye! I love doing that so much. It just brings me joy. Okay, let's go. Let's go. We're gonna spin the wheel again. Yeah, baby. Swift justice. Okay, Japan. We've done this one before. We have done this one before. Let's do it again. Add the statue of Perseus. Okay. The Dalek Appeal, a TV story. I'll put this one in the wiki thing first, and then I will put your suggestion in the wheel. Watch me be all efficient and professional and shit. Did you finish the audio-visual series? I did not because I wasn't the person reviewing those. That was another man entirely. But I did not. I have listened to a couple of them though, and I think they're really charming. I really like them. I also think they're really funny because Nicholas Briggs is clearly really embarrassed about them, and like he keeps getting reminded of them, and that just like brings me a lot of joy. Oh dear. I think the level of embarrassment would probably be 7 out of 10. The final series is mostly amazing. Never let him forget! Never let him forget what he created! The legacy that he's left behind. The legacy of Faye 20-somethings in a procession of different coats. Alright. Oh dear. What's going on here? Oh, is that meant to be his night? What's going on here then? I'm the Ninth Doctor. Did you know that? I'm Northern. If Nick Briggs could write the Ninth Doctor Chronicles and not be embarrassed of it, then nothing makes him cringe. He got paid for that though. Money washes away a lot of embarrassment. Yeah, but not when you look at yourself in the mirror at night. Alright. I think that's all of them. Hey, his Knife Doctor impression is better than his Rose Tyler. Oh my god, what does his Rose Tyler impression sound like? The cast of the Star Wars Holiday Special got paid, as did George Lucas. Au revoir. Yeah, please send me a clip in the Discord now, and I will play it. And I will obnoxiously talk over it so we don't get copyright struck. I'm sure some of them aren't embarrassed. Some, I'm sure, but it is. That doesn't change the fact that it is embarrassing. Like, I'm sure that a lot of people who worked on Necromantia were paid for Necromantia, but I guarantee that they're all still embarrassed about Necromantia. Just like how I know for a fact that Jonathan Frakes was paid for the Star Trek The Next Generation episode A Matter of Honor, but I know for a fact that Jonathan Frakes is embarrassed about the Star Trek The Next Generation episode A Matter of Honor. What is the secret Discord club I've never had an invite to? I will pop an invite link in there. 1 second. I think it depends on your relationship to the product IMO. If you have pride in it, it can be embarrassing. But if you're a hack, nah, money makes it better. Well, I do think that Nicholas Briggs is genuinely really passionate about the position that he's in. I think that he's not a hack. I poke at him because he's funny, but there's no actual because it's funny. It's always punching up though. Wait, what if Ian joins? Then I'll fucking boot his ass. He won't be able to hide the fact that it's him for very long. He won't be able to stop himself. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Or if it's just going to put hidden use copy. It is! It is! Alright, join the Discord if you want. There you go. There you go. Join it, Vishan, and then I'll delete the fucking thing. But yeah, you're more than welcome to join. You're more than welcome to join. Hang on, I'm just going to have the Discord open. Must not say a slur. I know, the thing is, he might be able to keep himself from saying a slur, but he's not going to be able to keep himself from dog whistling. So, clankers. But maybe that's me being cynical about ladder pulling. Oh no, he's definitely a ladder puller. That's one of the things I have against him. But like, that doesn't mean he's not passionate about it. It's just that he's so passionate about it that he has to keep it all to himself. That's the problem with Russell T Davies. Alright, let's see. The Dalek Appeal, or Missing Dalek Appeal, was a story that was broadcast on an episode of Blue Petter in response to the fact that the 2 Daleks were stolen, as it seemingly breaks the fourth wall, framing the Daleks simultaneously as fictional characters and as genuine talking aliens. It is not considered a valid source by this wiki. 2 of Doctor Who's Daleks are missing. That's the publisher's summary. And then it says, 2 Daleks have gone missing. And a Dalek has an urgent message for Blue Peter's viewers. At the end of the Blue Peter segment, presenter Peter Purvis adds a special SOS. 2 of Doctor Who's Daleks have gone missing, having been stolen right in front of the BBC television centre on 22nd of May, after they were brought back from Cardiff. After the they give a description of the stolen Daleks. I imagine the description was, they look like Daleks. The presenters cede the floor to a live Dalek who glides up to their sofa to give a personal appeal. The Dalek states that the missing Daleks were members of the Human Observation Delegation and encouraging viewers to assist the humanoid police in their inquiries. It states that the abductees are returned unharmed to their people. The Daleks will generously assume that the theft was not a hostile act, but simply an excess of hospitality. Otherwise, the Dalek Supreme Court will initiate search and find procedure, which is likely to result in the extermination of the culprits. I love the two props got stolen from Doctor Who, and so Doctor Who's response, the production staff's response, was to subtly threaten to kill them. That's really funny and very 1960s. Alright. Let's go back to the Wheel of Names.
Yeah, baby.
Cyberboard! Cyberboard! Let's have a look at what cyberboards are. I think I know this one, and if it's what I think it is, it's really funny. Alright. Oh, hang on. Into the wild magic circle where it appears that I have a notification. Oh! 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 Alright, let's take a look. Okay. Dalek episode, but it's just a reenactment of that one Jubilee video where a bunch of Carlids cheer on the fact that they're cutting off their limbs to live in pepper shake. Oh dear, carrying a digital stick. All right, I'm checking this Discord thing. One sec.
So, what happens now? She wondered. The Doctor looked at both his friends in turn, then grinned
What?
at Kayla. Now we leave you to it. We're dragged off course. We should never have ended up here in the first place.
Oh my fucking lord!
Come on, you two. He began to lead Adam and Rose towards the exit. Kayla couldn't help but call after them.
You know what? If he's not ashamed of himself, then he should be. Then there's something wrong there.
You can't just leave, not after everything that's happened. Try and stop us. Good luck with your investigation, by the way. See ya. I suppose I'm going to have to say it now, aren't I?
It sounds like Postman Pat.
You, Adam Mitchell.
What? What have I done now?
You were just a tiny bit fantastic back there. The Doctor patted Adam warmly on the shoulder.
Ah! Ah!
I mean it, every word. Couldn't have done it without you.
Well, I just did what anyone else would have done, I guess.
No. Credit where it's due. You kept
This is worse than now they'll see the real you.
Tickle did a brilliant job.
I'm joking, but it's pretty bad.
And who knows? Might even be able to smile. Your ship, your rules.
Wait, are you...
Wait, when is Rose going to talk? When does Rose get to say anything?
No, I just did what anyone else would have done, I guess.
No. Credit where it's due. You kept your cool, did a brilliant job. And who knows? You might even be able to show Rose a
I will explain in a second, Vishan. I will explain entirely why. Just
thing or
let...
two. One day.
One day. But I thought this was goodbye.
Who needs goodbyes when you've got a time machine? What do you reckon, Rose? Should we take him once around the block before going home? Rose smiled. Your ship, your rules.
Wait, are you serious?
Not if I can help it.
Who fucking wrote this?
The Doctor unlocked the Tardis. Then he stepped aside, waving his two
Who wrote this?
in through the open door.
Because I have a bigger issue with it.
Come on then, Adam Mitchell. Trip of a lifetime. Let's see what your future has in store.
They had no control over it. But
the doctor was quick to reassure her. Can't, like Adam said.
in this room, at this time, today.
Rose was still worried. What if they try again? She asked.
All right, we need to break this down. I know you're my best fan, Cookie Boy. Okay, this is what's fucking me up about this, okay? So like, in the fan-created Doctor Who sphere, there's a real problem with script writing that I've noticed, and this applies to every single one of you fucks, because I know you're all watching. Where they basically have the companion just be like a cardboard cutout that stands around and goes, "Yes, Doctor!" And like, we'll get like 3 or 4 lines of dialogue. Most of the dialogue is 4 or 5 words. Like, most of their lines are 4 or 5 words. And it's crazy to see that done to Rose in an official Doctor Who, like, story. Who wrote it? Scott Handcock? Yeah, that's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Also, you were fantastic, Adam, was, like, disgusting. Yeah, because that's never been an issue in the actual show. I mean, not to nearly the extent that you see in fan media, dude. Not to nearly the extent. Sometimes companions were underwritten in the classic series, but like, at least they had more than 4 or 5 lines of dialogue, like, per story. Oh, it's like an anti-immigrant story? Nice, lovely. I've been watching DW 2012 lately, I can understand. You know the worst thing, Ewan? You know the worst thing about that is that DW 2012, even though it does have its massive problems, even despite that, it's still one of the better ones when it comes to this particular issue. What are your other fanfic gripes? Oh, don't get me fucking started, mate. Please answer my Northern accent question. I'll answer the Northern accent question first. Basically, Nicholas Briggs is a very, 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 very posh person and has probably never interacted with a Northern person before meeting Christopher Eccleston. That's the main thing. There's like a really big class divide between the North and the South in the UK. Because the South sucks out all of the resources and wealth from the North, like fucking vampires, and I say that as a southerner. Makes sense, but the accent stuff can be hard in the US. You know, it's really hard to do an American accent as a British person. Like, really hard. Luckily, Jimmy Savile bridged that gap with his charity! Well, Jimmy Savile was lucky in that he started to become a celebrity before the cultural enforcement that you saw in like the 1960s and late 50s was really put into place. So he kind of benefited with that and was like grandfathered in. Because it's very much something that happened after TV became a thing. That like stratification in British media. I wonder, that's my answer to your question. Are we talking about Jim again? No, we're not talking about Jim again. We're not. It's just that Jimmy Savile was brought up as an example of like a northern celebrity who broke through like the class barrier that existed in British television at the time, which it's a crazy way to talk about Jimmy Savile, but I mean, it's fucking factual. What can you do? So yeah, with regards to fanfic, I would say don't plan out a massive multi-season arc before you get your first story done, because you're going to find out that doing it is really hard and you're going to discourage yourself. In terms of gripes with stories that actually exist, I would say the main one for me is self-indulgence, and putting the Doctor at the center of like everything that happens. Like so much of like the fanfic stuff that I've listened to has been like, the Doctor is confronted with the true meaning of what the Doctor means to the Doctor, and how the universe responds to the Doctor, learning about the Doctor and being how the Doctor do. It's a lot of that. It's a lot of that. Having your story be set in an ambiguous void where the villain is just like a hammy reality warper, so that you don't actually have to write a plot and you can just write pithy dialogue back and forth. That's another one that I fucking hate. If any of you creators out there are feeling attacked by these, trust me, you are being attacked right now. Doing weird right-wing things in your stories. If you're gonna put political messaging in your stories or political commentary, make sure that you really know the subject before you decide to put the commentary in. Obviously we can point to the 9/11 Doctor Who fan film where the Doctor makes 9/11 happen. That's a real thing, look it up. But there's even smaller things like that, like going back to DW 2012. Did you know that in the DW 2012 universe, the Trickster caused COVID-19 as like a joke, and it's played as a joke, like in the episode? That one's pretty interesting. Personally, if it came to me making an audio, I would not emulate Big Finish's format. Yeah, no, that's another thing too. People trying to make their stuff look like fake Big Finish is a real flag for me. There's a lot of producers who actively try to emulate Big Finish's cover designs and like way of telling stories. And the thing about like Big Finish is that they're a big studio who can afford to create productions that go on for hours and have all of this like extravagant bullshit. Like just get the storytelling right. I prefer enhanced audiobook, like an audiobook with SFX and a forecast for dialogue. See, me personally, I like to try and make my audio sound as realistic as possible. I try to have it be like TV for the ears, but that's a personal thing. And like, I don't actually care about the quality of your audio production, because that's something that's contingent on having had the access to developing the skills and the equipment to make that happen. That's not something that you can necessarily control. So it's not necessarily something that you can judge. What I can judge is the scripts and the aesthetic choices that you make. And I suggest one mild technocratic idea that you should all advocate for: the idea of money going from north to south. I don't think it causes arguments. It is very technical rather than ideological. No. The ability to have narration allows IMH over cronky descriptive dialogue to be stripped, and also communicative details that dialogue alone can't. Okay, it's alright, I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you, Najawin, it's alright. I just don't want to go into a tangent because this is an interesting conversation. I am anti-narration. I think that you should just learn how to write good dialogue. I think people need to learn that you don't have to have a fucking info dump. You can pass that information out along the scenes. You can do stuff with context clues. You can have dialogue be expressed as part of character, like exposition about the area, the settings and the plot. You can have that be expressed as part of the characterization. There's loads of ways to get around it. You don't have to have clunky descriptions. It's just easy to do those, so people fall into those traps. I'm being real. I'm being real. You can do it. Okay. The ability to have narration, yeah, I get that. I don't know. I was reading a Halo novel and it starts with the first person POV listing of the names and traits of the squad. This is Booker. He's a real he's a real maverick. This is Iceman, and he's a loose cannon. And this is Maxipad, and he's a renegade. You mean like that? I approach world building like a swimming pool. Never check someone into the deep end or they drown. Yeah. My peeve in novels is a fucking index of characters. They're wrong. Peak writing, that was literally what it was. Right, get this, Vishan, how about, right, say it's a 4-person group of characters, right? Introduce 2 of them in the first chapter, and then the other 2 get folded into the second chapter. Boom. There you go, just make space. Nah, embed someone into... You do have to embed someone into a world and let them learn from context. I agree with Najawin there when it comes to how I approach it. Like, you don't need to think of exposition as information that the characters need to directly impart to each other. You think of exposition as the information that the author is transmitting to the audience so that the audience understands things. So you have it come out in like different terms. The characters use different expressions and how they interact with each other. I think a really good example is stuff like Lord of the Rings, when Gandalf is standing up to the Balrog and he goes, I am a servant of the secret fire, wielder of the flame of Arnor. Now, there is so much meaning and narrative power in those words, but like, that is exposition. But he's not explaining what those things are. He's not like, well, the secret fire is the breath of life that Eru Iluvatar breathed into the world at the beginning of time. And he's not like the flame of Arnor is the sword that I have. You get it from context. Something I really like is efficiency in stories when no scenes that are unnecessary are included. I like that depending on the story, but usually yes. But then I don't believe in a one-size-fits-all approach. Neither do I. But when it comes to writing Doctor Who fanfic, formulas exist whether you want them to or not. The secret is that the audience doesn't go, oh, this is exposition. Exactly what Nick just said. You have to be constantly pulling little magic tricks. There are 2 ways to get a nut out of its shell. One is to take a hammer to the nut and crack it open. Another is to immerse the nut in water, soaking and softening the shell, allowing you to open it. Some audio dramas can only work with characters' dialogue, like Solitaire. One of my biggest pet peeves, okay, I'll give you a really good example. Of like how you can use storytelling other than dialogue to like create exposition, alright? Alright, so would you prefer someone going, Doctor, the floor is metal. We're in some kind of... There's scanners over there. We must be in some kind of space station. Or would you prefer they land in, they walk out, and you can hear the echoey metal of their footsteps, and you can hear the scanners going beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, beep, boop. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You could have like a little AI being like time in orbit, blah-de 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 blah. Just enough to let you work out that they're on a fucking space station. And that's way more immersive and like powerful and engaging than just stating that they must be on a space station. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You have like the classic one that JXE talked about in the 5-hour Doctor Who thing, right? Where they were like, the character walks out of the TARDIS onto an alien planet and goes, "We're on an alien planet." Like they bring up that as a criticism, but they don't give an example of like what a good version of that scene would be, because that isn't the point of the video. But a good version of that scene would be the character walks out and describes some way that it's exotic in a sensory way. Like, it could either be that they walk out and their feet start to sink into the ground, or like it smells fucking weird, or like there's some weird vibration happening all the time that's like uncomfortable. But like, you get into the character's body and you have the dialogue come at that, and then that not only describes, hey, we're on an alien planet, but you instinctively will go, huh, how would that feel? Huh, wow, that would feel like this. Huh, now I'm empathizing with the character, and all of this can be achieved in the space of the story that is usually reserved for Doctor. We're on an alien planet. Every second of your story is an opportunity to make the person watching or listening or reading feel something. And you should use every second of it. You should never go, oh, this few seconds is for exposition, so I'll just put the exposition there and make it boring. No! Make them laugh, make them cry, do something. Because the thing that people do is feel. So make them feel. And you know what? No one's gonna be like, oh wow, I loved that egotistical masturbatory session of the Doctor exploring the Doctor's meaning of being the Doctor, delivered by a different 20-something in a fancy coat that's always red for some reason. No, you make the people connect and feel. There's a noticeable... They walk out and there's a noticeable confusion in their breathing. They are shocked that they are breathing, but it also feels different to their home. Yes. We should have the Doctor use a velociraptor claw to threaten Adric as a metaphor for how his fear of fatherhood. It's really good. That one doesn't even work though, Vishad, because then after that scene, they're like, when are we going to have kids? And he's like, never. Even then, it doesn't work. Oh man, I love Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is such a good movie. Let's spin the wheel again. But yeah, no, I guess the only real advice that I can give is to scream, play from your fucking heart into the microphone at the top of my lungs. That's the only real advice that I can give. Oh yeah, I forgot that they literally say, well, the idea is, Vishan, is that the Velociraptor claw is a metaphor to impress smart people, and then they explain it for like children and dumb adults. Like, they're covering both bases. Spielberg is hedging his bets, essentially. Which is good filmmaking. It's smart to do that. Book Alan would never. I haven't read the book. I know it's very different to the movie, but I haven't read the book. You know, that's an interesting point. You know, people talk about original ideas in Hollywood. Have there ever been an original idea in Hollywood? Ever? Because, like, Jurassic Park is just based off a book. And, like, isn't the movie Jewel based off of something, too? Let me look that up real quick. If the movie Jewel is based off of a book, then blockbusters are cooked. It is! It's based on a short story by author Richard Matheson. Hang on. One more. And if this is true, we're cooked. We're cooked, lads. Oh my god! Jaws is based off of a book. Adapting books into movies is an original idea. No, it isn't. It's still just adaptation. It's still just repetition. That's the point, Najawin, is that it's all just repetition. And it always has been. Star Wars is just a repetition of fucking Flash Gordon. I have the original Jaws book somewhere. That's cool. No, the meta idea is original. What do you mean by that? Fun fact, Spielberg hated the characters in the book and made huge changes. Never seen the film, admittedly. The film's amazing. That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that when people say, oh, movies are nothing but sequels and remakes and adaptations of things, why can't they go back to making original ideas? They don't know what they're fucking talking about, because everything is based off of a book. That's the point I'm making. I think Najawin is saying the idea of adapting books to films itself is original. Yes, and I agree. I agree. However, it's still a repetition of a piece of media in another permutation. So it's not that different from a sequel or a remake. You're still remaking something in a different medium. So, where do we go from here? And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's how art works, and that's fine. Except it came first. What do you mean? What you mean? The book came first? Adapting books into films is basically just the next step from adapting books into stage plays right after adapting books into radio plays. Yes! Yes! Exactly. Exactly. Norm of the North was an original IP. And that's another thing too. Just because something's an original IP doesn't mean that it's an original idea. Because there's this idea in reactionary film buff circles that originality and creativity is this pure, beautiful, mostly white thing, right? And it's a crock of shit. We've all just been repeating stories and creating new twists on them for the entirety of human fucking existence. And as a result, movies do the same thing that stories have always done. But Ryan, what if a polar bear could talk and sounded like Rob Schneider? K-pop Demon Hunters. K-pop Demon Hunters is just a fantasy action adventure thing. The Demon Hunters are very much a pre-established idea. Being K-pop is a very, very established thing, and like the idea of a pop star masquerading as a superhero is a very, very pre-established thing. Now it's an exceptional fucking execution of all of those things that's very fresh and feels very new. But it's still based on things that have already existed and have already been proven to do well. Very, very well executed, though. I love K-pop Demon Hunters. It's, like, amazing. And it is a new original thing and should be a new franchise. And it's definitely the first time, like, a new potential, like, franchise has popped up. But point I'm making is that all ideas are based off of something else. Superliminal, the video game, let me take a look at that. Let me take a look at that. What's Superliminal about? Oh! It's a surreal puzzle game. It's pretty interesting. Oh my god, Superliminal is so very trippy, defo worth a stream. I should put Thief from it. I saw the TV Glow was an original movie. I can't really describe. Definitely could have been a short film though. I saw the TV Glow. I've never heard of that. Let me look it up. I want to repeat once again that I am not saying that this is a bad thing. I am not saying that it's worthy of condemnation to do this. I am saying that this is just how art works and has always worked and will always work for the rest of time. That's what I'm saying. I think the idea that creativity is this like magical thing that like is bestowed upon by white Jesus is ridiculous and just not how creativity works. And I say that as a creative person. Movies metaphor. Nah, it's alright. I'm just looking. Oh, it's a psychological horror drama. I'll check that out. I just read the quick description, and I will check it out. I will check it out. Which is why ChatGPT is great. That was my next point. Yes. No. No. I would argue that ChatGPT is what happens when you take what is the human element out of the creative process, which is where you just have the repetition and you don't have people putting their own like souls and identities and experiences and contexts into the idea that already exists. Because the thing that actually fuels what we think of as the magic of creativity, the thing that people bring to a new thing that's unique, is the results of their own life experiences and history and biases and perspectives and goggles that they have on when they look at the world. That's the thing that adds uniqueness and flavor to art. Like, an analogy that I've heard that I like is, so, alright, you have an action movie, and the plot, the format of every single action movie is you have guy good at action. Guy have thing taken from him by bad guy. Guy must get back. That's the plot of every single action movie. Sometimes it's a physical object they have to get back. Sometimes it's a loved one that got murdered and they have to get revenge, get their own back. Sometimes they're not good at killing stuff and they have to learn how to be good at killing stuff. But they always fall down to that essential format. It's a mannequin. Imagine a mannequin. Now, the creativity is, what clothes do you put on the mannequin? Sometimes it is a dog, yes. But tell you what, Mr. M Works, you know that description that I just gave, right? Check this. It applies to John Wick. It applies to Taken. It applies to Death Wish. It applies to Dirty Harry. It applies to the movie Predator. It applies to every Steven Seagal movie ever. Arnie's daughter is kidnapped at the end of the True Lies sort of has no. True Lies, the flipping True Lies, Xavier, is woman has thing taken from by man, in which case is like precious time that they need to like cultivate their marriage is taken from by man's job. So woman must go into journey to get good at killing things to get back precious time, i.e. they bond with each other again as a couple through like the skullduggery and the spy stuff. It still fits. They just move some stuff around. I'm telling you. Wild Target is an action that doesn't feel like it falls into the trope. Oh, that's interesting. What's that? It's not necessarily a bad thing either. It's just like how these movies work. You know, it's like the foundation, and then what you build on that is like how you create something new and cool. Another format that you see, and this is in what I would describe as like hero movies, and these aren't necessarily the same thing as action movies, because a hero movie is about the character reaching some kind of self-actualization, and the format of those usually is someone is in a state of comfort and then they want something, so they go out to get it, They get it, but they pay a price for it, and then they return having changed. Or they go in thinking they need something to be complete, realizing they don't need that and they need something else, and becoming complete via that. I mean, i.e. now, as Mongol saying, learn to scrub floors when the Ghibli AI came. I'm gonna look at Wild Target. Let me look at the plot of Wild Target and I'll work out what's been moved around. I'll do it. Alright. I like to call, you know, the first one that I described, by the way, of one was applying like True Lies to and stuff. I like to call those middle-aged man with pistol movies. Like John Wick and Death Wish and Taken. Wild Target is a 2010 black comedy. Is it like an action comedy? Because then it's like a combination of two different formats together. Comedies are very different formats to action movies. I would actually argue that comedy is closer in format to horror than action, which is why horror comedies tend to be so good. I could do that if I really tried. Every middle-aged man watching. Yes! Yes! Absolutely. You know, I'm an action movie guy. I love action movies. And I fucking hate how middle-aged man with pistol movies have, like, taken over action movies. Because they suck. They suck. I just want to watch a Korean child prodigy kick 5 people in the face in a single bound. I don't want to watch an old wheezy man run in and shoot 8 guys with a 6-round clip. I hate it. My dad loved Nobody too. I have heard Nobody is good. Ryan, you get $1 million, but you have to live a year as Asmongold and put out all his regular content and discourse. I don't think I'd do it, to be honest. I feel like that would like lose like 10 years of my life if I did that. No deal. Also, I mean, I would be contributing to like the collapse of society, and I don't want to do that. It peeves me where people say, oh, there's no way she could tank that punch over female characters, but they soy jack over Keanu Reeves killing 400 people. That's because most schlubby, middle-aged white guys think they could take on Ronda Rousey and win in a fight because they're men. It's delusion. Do you have any idea, Vishan, how many men think that they have a 50-50 shot of winning a fist fight with a bear if they prepared properly? It's insane. It's insane. I like action movies, but come on. They are fantasies, and they're more unrealistic than superhero movies. That's where I'm at. But yeah, I kind of hate how they've been taken over by old men. I hate how old men have taken over action movies. My friends tried to tell me I could beat Wanda. I'm 6'3" and 135. I could be beat by a squirrel. Yeah, what martial arts style do you specialize in? I get that because I'm really small. I'm actually like 5'5", but like I've been doing some form of martial arts for like most of my life, and the amount of like people who were like a bit taller than me being like, well, I could still roll you even though you can do all of this stuff because I'm bigger than you. And it's like, it doesn't matter how big you are, you have a throat. you have a groin, you have eyes. Like, it's insane. It's insane, mate. It's insane. Because most people, like, don't understand, like... So you have regular person, right? Hang on, I'll do it here so it's more visual, right? You have regular person, okay, is here, okay? And then, person who knows a decent amount to a lot of martial arts is here. And I'm here, Okay, but someone that's there, right? Right. Like someone who trains regularly all the time, right? Professional UFC fighter is like here in relation to that. Female professional UFC fighter is in exactly the same fucking place. Americans are obsessed with strength. Zorhan and Mamdani failing to bench 135 got him massive amounts of death threats. That's so dumb. Now I want to see Donald Trump bench 135. The other thing I've noticed, Vishan, is that like a lot of people think who've like never been in a fight before, and this is something that applies to men and women, okay? A lot of people who've never been in a fight before really overestimate how good they would be in a fight. Because if you haven't like actively conditioned yourself to execute techniques, the best you're going to be able to manage is this. That's the best you're going to be able to do. Okay, and most people like think that inside them is an ultra instinct Goku waiting to come out, and that if someone threw a punch at them, they would just weave to the side like it was nothing instinctively. Most people believe that, like the vast majority, like I'd say like 90% of people believe that. 98% of people believe that they are Bruce Lee and they just haven't had a chance to fucking prove it yet. It's so true. It's so true. And there's a lot of people who do study martial arts who think that they could take on 4 or 5 guys. When no, they cannot. Once again, the science doesn't science in regards to that. But enough about this. Let's spin the wheel again.
Yeah, baby.
Because I have to go soon. World of Warcraft. Cookie Boy says, yeah, alright, but I could win easy, simple test of skill. Yeah, but Cookie Boy, you are trained in 127 forms of unarmed combat. So, like, I'm talking about regular people, not killing machines like you. Okay? Alright, let me see. The Cyber Vord were created on Marinus, also known as Planet 14. The Vord converted themselves into Cybermen, having began experimenting with a world shaper which accelerated time locally and quick evolved them. Over time, they replaced their booty parts with cybernetic parts. Bernie Summerfield once thwarted the Cyber Vord on Candelinga, a feat which she included in her books. The Sixth Doctor, Frobisher, Perry Brown, and Jamie McCrimmon attempted to stop the Vord. Jamie sacrificed himself to destroy the World Shaper, which caused a blast that accelerated time. The Vord then evolved into entirely cybernetic creatures called Cybermen. According to one account, Marinus then became known as Mondas, and the Vord were the ancestors of the Mondasian Cybermen. However, the 12th Doctor conversely believed that the Cybermen of Mondas and the Marinus Cybermen originated separately through parallel evolution. What? What? I don't get it. But I assume it's funny. Alright, we're looking at the World of Warcraft page now. There isn't one. Perfect. Perfect. Love that. Love that. Alright, let's spin the wheel one more time for today.
Yeah, baby.
Yartek, leader of the alien Vord, carrying a big stick. Oh. Fuck off, no! No, no.
Yeah, baby.
Absolutely not. Sylvester Shoebile. Pretty sure we've done this one too, but I'll take a look anyway. Let's go to the other page where we can take a look. There isn't anything for Sylvester Shoebill. Fuck. Had deja vu. Oh, I think it's time for me to go. Oh, I think it's time for me to take my leave of all of you wonderful people. I will be back at some point. Who knows when? Who dares to dream? Certainly not me.